Morning, everybody. This is Martin John, and I'm bringing you an early version of Tao of the Day. I got some shit I got to do today, so I'm up here just kind of wanting to do this with you right now. Yeah, why don't you, if anybody's listening, you come on, let me know what your number for today is. I have to say, I have been put through the ringer this week in one of the best ways possible. So if you're listening, you got a number between 1 and 81 you wanna pass down to me. We'll sit down and talk about the Tao. But until then, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you a little story about my week, and then I'm gonna pick a number of the Tao, and I'm gonna go ahead and let it ring true. So I have experienced something throughout my life that is cyclical, happens all the time and almost without fail. It starts with me being being attracted to somebody and wanting to have a relationship, and I'm a Cancer, so I'm very emotional, but I'm also a real hard lover, right? Like someone who loves really deeply. And I don't want that to sound like I'm a lover, like it was sex. This relationship wasn't physical. Actually, the person lived in another state, but we were moving in the direction of having some sort of relationship. It was very undefined at the moment. But what ended up happening was, and this happens to me all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. People walk out and they say, I need space. And I get that. I want them to have space. I want everybody to have their space and do what they need to do in their life. And what I did and what I do in my work is look at my trigger and say, how does that relate back to me? What do I have to do to that with that? And the story that I was getting, and if you follow my work, you'll learn about how to do this yourself. But I found that I was unable to receive love. Like this is what I found through tracing back my trigger. So I spent the last 2 days, Monday and Tuesday this week, like really looking at, well, how can I receive more love? How can I receive more love? How can I receive my love? Because I realized that in all of my relationships, I looked back and I was a dick. I was a mean. No, it wasn't mean, right? But I mean, I was a giving partner, a loving partner. I would do all of these things to be loving, but that was the problem. I never left space for somebody else to love me. So anytime this came up, anytime it came up for me to receive a massage or for me to receive love or for me to receive, like I was resistant. I talked to 3 of my exes over the last couple of days, and I'm friendly with all but 2 of my exes, and those 2, one feels very aggrieved as to the ending of our breakup, and I think the other one and I just don't. We're just not. I don't know that we would have been friends if we weren't dating when we broke up, right? I think early on we were really tight, we were buddies, but I think we grew apart in ways that does not permit really, like it's like we're just not conducive to being friends. So no animosity, no frustration, no anything like that. I love her dearly, and I'm sure she's giving me love as well. So over the last 2 days, I've been looking at this. How do I not receive love? And I went through and I talked to my exes, and they and even to friends of mine. I said, "Have you ever seen me receive love?" And they would take a couple days. It would take like one person I asked on Monday, and Tuesday I ended up talking to them, and they were like, "No." Like they didn't say no. They were like, "Well, having me in your life is you receiving love." And I was like, that's cheap. Here are the ways that, like that you receive my love. And I just listed like a dozen like obvious things, and she couldn't list one. And I said, "That's it. That's why this keeps happening to me. Right? That's why people keep needing space from me when I'm getting close to them. And I need to stop resisting love And that's what that is, right? It's resistance of love, because love is all around us. And so when I say I can't receive love, really what it's saying is that I am resistant to experiencing the love that is all around us. And it's right. I mean, that is what I've experienced. Yesterday, I also kind of sat down and just opened myself up to receive love. Through meditation and other things like that, I opened myself up to receive love. And I was on fire. Like I felt love coming in from every angle. And I have to tell you, it was beautiful. So I'm going to pick a number. 5 is coming up for me at the moment. Let's see what 5 has to offer in the Tao. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty, yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. Whew. That's a beautiful one. That's one. That's one that for me it can relate back to what I was talking about. This inability to, because if I can't receive love, and love is all that is, then I am not receiving in my life, right? Like I'm not receiving so many things, and so the Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to birth and evil, and this is something that I've always held on to, right? This idea that like there is no good or evil. I remember one time I was in a conversation and someone was telling me, hey, but there are evil things out there. And I said, no, there are things that you define as evil. Because remember, your evil enemy believes they're on the good side. They don't believe they're on the evil side. So you can't convince me that like there is something that is evil. Even though we were talking about energies and other things like that, like she's a energy healer like myself, and she was looking at it as if like, well, you need to protect yourself. And I said, well, whoa. Protecting yourself presupposes that there's evil. But I think that if you can open yourself up to the whole, then the evil can subside. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. And that's where we are, right? We are here as masters, and we are able to not have to take sides. We're able to embrace this space of we can welcome both saints and sinners. And when I look at my resistance towards receiving that love, or towards experiencing the love, right? Like that, I could look at that as being, oh, that's a bad thing. But the thing is it brought me here. It brought me to a place of possibly being able to receive and to love deeper. Right. So the good, there is no good, there is no bad, there's no good or evil, right? Like in this one, we are talking about individuals, like there's a good person, there's an evil person, but really this is so much more about um, everything, right? And we want to take that broad step back and allow it to take place. Even there are no good feelings and bad feelings. For a long time, I believed like giving love was good, receiving love was bad, even though I didn't put it in those terms. So, um, by me being able to kind of be in the space of allowing love to be, cast upon me, allowing other people to love me, and being able to calm down. I think when I can't receive love, I constantly think it's going to be taken from me, even though I'm not receiving it, right? Like that's the fear. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. And if I process this to this ability to receive love, like even though I am feeling resistant, or I'm feeling like I want to resist receiving love, what so that could look empty. but it is infinitely capable. So now all I had to do was unhook and open that bellows, and now in comes all of this love. And like I said, I was on fire yesterday, right? And so like the fact that I mentioned that fire and the bellows mentioned here, like that brings so much into light, right? Like I can now, I can bring in all of that love, and then I can be so much more loving, right? Like now the love can come out. Like I was loving in a way that was, very task oriented. Even someone mentioned, like, you love yourself deeply with your diet and your exercise and your morning routine and your things, all of the stuff that you do. And I said, yeah, but all of those things are things. When can I just receive my love? Like I can actively love deeply. Yep, that's clear. But when can I pause and receive it? And so all of these people in my life who have stepped away from me because they needed space are doing that because I'm I'm loving them, and their love is not being received. And they're experiencing this in their way, right? That they are seeing and perceiving this in a way that they need to see and perceive it. But that is the catalyst for that. And that's on my end. But they leave because of whatever it is they need to leave for. And I am experiencing it from my perspective. And that led me to understand that I'm not open to receiving love. And that's something that scared me when I learned it, and is not necessarily something that one wants to learn. You don't want to learn that you are incapable of receiving love, but it's a hell of a lesson when you learn it, because that is going to be able to affect every one of the relationships you have. So it's going to literally change the world for you. And that's what it's going to do for me. I have no doubt that after today, after yesterday, everything is now different. I am going into my day today very different. My journaling this morning was different. Like I am open to receiving. And that's the thing. Like I was having issues with my business. I was having issues with bringing in money, and and so much of that has to do with receiving. So if I want to receive, I better be able to receive love. This is the highest form of compliment. And I want you guys to know that, like, I'm a different person today. Like I'm a Cancer, so I'm always going to be a little emotional. So I'm emotional right now, but like, you know, but that's what this infinite, like a bellows, right? Like it always opens up and can bring in love, and that's what I want to do. And then that is going to be able to inform what I do going out. Right now, my actions of showing people love, it's not informed by anything. It is just being done. And that although it's genuine, it's not necessarily expressing everything that I want. So the more I use it, the more it produces. So here, the more I use the ability to take in love, the more it's going to produce for me, the more love it's going to produce, the more things I can do to share that love, the more people will feel that love. All of that is so beautiful. So that's what's going on with me. The more you talk of it, the less you understand, and that's me. Maybe right now, I don't have to understand it. Like I don't have to talk about love, but it is going to be expressed in my life. And it's going to be expressed everywhere. And so, like, from day to day, it is going to just express itself through me. And the last line of number 5 is hold on to the center. And then just be here. And that's a place, before I recognized that I was not, before I recognized that I was not receiving love, or that I was resistant to receiving love. I was in a space of action. I was always doing, filling space. But this space now, actually, like I feel I have retreated since I have learned that I resist love. I have retreated, and I feel like I'm retreating closer to the center. As this says, like, it feels as if I've stepped back. It feels as if I am closer to the center, and in the center of the eye of the storm, it is calm. I do not have to win love. I do not have to, I am love. I just have to receive that, or stop resisting it. That's number 5, and what I've been going through recently. I really appreciate you guys being here. If anybody has a number that you want to share, I would love to run through a Tao for your day. Otherwise, we'll call this a day, and we'll take the gift of what the Tao has offered me today, and I'll just sit with that. All right. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening. If you are listening to the recording, definitely check me out on Instagram or my podcast, Recover Yourself. I love you guys, and I am receiving your love. So thank you for that. It was beautiful. Remember, I'm going to read number 5 again. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like the bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces, but the more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.